Welcome back, everyone, to our Emerald League Week 3 After Dark stream. My name is EpilepticUnicorn, joined by Sigma, and our guests today are Boosted and Witch from Waffles?
Correct.
Yeah, Waffles. I remember team names. How are you guys doing today?
I think you had a little Freudian slip from my game one. It's Boostus, not Boosted.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, sometimes it happens. So, how do you guys feel about the week overall? A really close game one, but I saw that you guys bounced back in your game twos to secure sole possession of first place again.
I can go first, or
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, spirits were obviously a little low right after we lost, but afterwards we were able to kind of pinpoint our issues very quickly of like what happened and like why we think we actually lost, and so we kind of came out of it pretty quickly, and we were able to regroup for the second game and with pretty high spirits. And then obviously a new player coming in, having Frozen come back, who we've had so much success with, helps as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you made the call, tell him not to drive 100 miles an hour to come back for game one. So
yeah, safety first for sure.
All right, so I guess here looking at my notes, Void gave me because he decided he didn't want to be here. That's the story I'm sticking with. It's not because he couldn't; he decided not to. Do you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone? You know how you guys started playing League, what got you into playing competitively. If Witch, you want to go ahead and start if you want.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this year's been my first year as well playing in competitive. I started on the Tulu team with before Sigma, and then Sigma and I played on a team for a little bit. Where I played jungle as well. I would say that this is my first draft league too, which has been really fun, honestly. I've been enjoying it. But yeah, I played top and jungle, as you guys have seen. And I feel like I have a lot of different playstyle than a lot of other junglers. I'm very selfless, as I think Void put it in the thing, where I am willing to give up like a lot to like camp wise and stuff like that, even like levels for my team to actually succeed. So yeah.
Yeah, always good when your laners all want to be the carries. Someone has to. So
yeah, I feel like unfortunately in the jungle position that this like my trade is like kind of unique in that sense, because a lot of junglers are kind of greedy in that sense of taking a lot of stuff, in my opinion. But you have to have the right team to actually succeed with my playstyle and obviously the other one. So
yeah,
Boostus is carrying my ass. So
Yeah.
All right,
and Nasashi, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No. Note that down. I hope Nasashi notes that, because Nasashi's been yelling at me for not giving him credit. Make sure, Nasashi, write that down. Matt didn't say your name right there. He said Boostus.
Man, Nasashi was an afterthought by his own teammates. That's rough.
Nasashi's my boy.
No. You said what you said.
It's been so I was watching, oh man, maybe it's like spring playoffs or summer playoffs in Pro League, and I was like, man, I wonder what it would be like to play in like a best of 5 format, like at my at gold level, or whatever level it is. But I was like, oh, that sounds really fun. And then I'm a part of a server called Gangster, I think is what it's called, or Gangstar, whatever, which I've been a part of forever, but then never really looked at. And then I saw the posting for Emerald League, and it just happened like perfect timing. It was like starting up right as I looked at it, and then I joined, and that's kind of how I got here. So this is my first time doing it, but I've been really enjoying it, and especially just solo queue is pretty tough to play, and so it's been so much fun like doing this and actually like trying to strategize and play different teams and everything.
Yeah.
Also, it is. I will say, it's tough like having to carry the second best support in the league every match.
Jesus.
Oh my
But-
goodness. Oh no.
You know, we're working on it.
You're trying to make him the first bet. Yeah, I get it. Like, you really had to step up your gameplay to make it so instead of second best, he could potentially be first best. That makes
Yeah. So instead of letting him drag me down, I'm trying to pull him up. So
that's smart. Instead of you guys being like the second best bot lane, you're trying to make him the first best bot lane. That's smart. I like that.
correct.
It's showing. Dude. You guys are killing it. Your guys' bot lane, some great plays coming from there, and it shows in your guys' record. First place team. Only 2 more weeks of normal season, then you go to seeding. If you guys hold the first place, you get a bye week in the first week, so that's probably nice, right? And then you come back, hopefully take it to the finals. Who do you guys think you're gonna play? If you guys make the finals, obviously you're predicting yourself to make to the finals. You're not gonna be like, oh yeah, no, we'll lose.
Hey.
Who else do you think makes it? Out of curiosity, I want to know. Give me your inside scoop. Who do you genuinely believe is another finals contender?
I think the obvious and easy answer is the team we just played, Cheezers. I think they are really good and have good games. Like actually pretty good game sense, and they were making some really good plays, and we just happened to be like able to execute on some of our plays before they were and get the lead. And then I think I've seen in the limited time I've been around, I've seen the potential in what the Pandas roster actually has, as much as we like to rag on them. But it just is dependent on if they are able to pull it together.
I don't know.
But my realistic guess is I think the Cheezers are really good.
You guys haven't even played them with their full roster yet. Both times you've played them, they've hid their full roster from you. They're saving their full roster, I guess.
They're saving
strats.
Saving strats for playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know,
Doing
do you have a different opinion, Matt?
No, I definitely feel the same. I feel like our game one that you guys had on stream was that kind of uncharacteristic of us, to be honest. But we're also having a sub that we hadn't played with all of us as a team and stuff like that. I will say, I think that if Pandas play actually towards like certain lanes and stop trying to like play everything, I feel like they're in a way better spot in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see if Pandas is able to make that climb. As I believe I haven't looked at the other results, but I believe they are unfortunately now sitting in sole possession of last place.
I saw they won their last game, so
if they won their last game, they might be tied for last place then. So, we'll see. Luckily, everyone gets to make playoffs. Everyone gets a chance. So,
controversial as it is, everyone, everyone's making it.
Yeah, it's very controversial for 6 teams to not have a 4-team playoff. Unlucky. Well, let's see here. Man.
What other notes did we get from Void?
I'm looking at the notes here. It's, lots of things. There's a lot of things that are like go with the flow. It's like that's not very helpful.
I will say, I think you guys should give Lap a little bit more credit. As much as he shit talks, he actually is a pretty good team player and stuff like that. So
hey, I give Lap all the credit in my PRs. I very openly say that this is probably a good question. I've been wanting this for a while. I mean, we have 2 of you here. On the team dynamic, what role does Lap play for your guys' team? Like in game, is he calling shots? Is he drafting? The self-proclaimed Emerald villain. I'm curious about your guys' team dynamic. Who's doing what? Walk me through it.
I think that for early game and stuff like that, I'm calling a lot of like my movement and what I plan on doing. For example, in the game that we just played, I called that I was going to go for a level 2 gank bottom, and we ended up getting a kill. And then I ended up walking mid, getting the flash out, going top, getting a flash out. And then I think that Lap and Nasashi are both like voices of reason in the sense that like if I say something that they don't agree with, they'll call it out and say like, no, this is bad, or like kind of reel me in the sense that like, no, we can't do this, and then I'll look for something else on the map, and we communicate that. And then I think Boostus is also in the same boat. Like if he needs something or if he has good back timers and stuff, he'll tell us and communicate that. So yeah.
Yeah, I would to just to give Matt some praise. I would say early, especially he's kind of the shot caller, and him and Lap's game knowledge is like really useful, and they're able to translate that into leads around the map. And then it's like Lap isn't as much of a stat player as his ego. Like his ego on the banter might seem, because he's up to like CS at a minimum every game, and it's just like not inting or anything. So easy to play around. Easy for Matt to play around other lanes, and yeah, and they're both really good shot callers. And then yeah, Nasashi, I would say is more quiet, but when he speaks, like people listen because
It's important.
also yeah.
Who's drafting for you? What's draft? Or is everyone included? Is there one person who's like, if they say this is what's happening in draft, you guys are like, okay, whatever. Like, well, this is what we're going towards, or is it just?
I think it's a lot. We've talked about like comfort and like what like our champs we actually play, and we kind of stick to those champs. We're not gonna like put me on like a champ like Kindred that I never play. I think that we talked, for example, at Cheeser's draft this week. I had discussed that we have to take Seraphine away from Arctic, just as because I know it's like super comfort, and then we've been playing a lot of MF, just because I think MF's in a great spot. So they're going to want to take it away. So we had a game plan for around that for today's draft.
Yeah, MF has definitely been a high priority. It's the highest priority champion, most presence out of every champion in the league so far.
Yeah.
So that'd be something. One thing that I do want to ask you, Boostus, we haven't. I don't think we've seen a single Caitlyn pick or ban, but when you look more of like a competitive and just like Caitlyn's strengths of really bullying a lane, why do you think no one's really prioritizing Caitlyn's ability to kind of take over that early lane phase?
Because we're all trash.
Hey,
I think Caitlyn is oh man, that's a like we've discussed it as well, and I think it is I honestly think it's maybe that the mechanics of the level we're at might not be good enough, and then it takes a lot of synergy with your support. And once again, the second best support just can't pull it off.
oh yeah,
Whoa.
makes sense. Yeah, I've never seen Nasashi play Lux, so I wouldn't believe he could pull it off either.
Oh god, guys, you're doing him dirty.
But I just think like Kaisa and MF are like more fun to play. They're a little easier in the like, you kind of have to get ahead with Caitlyn and like actually push your lead, and I don't really know.
I feel like Caitlyn personally doesn't feel great on sitting on the 1.5 item mark, unlike like a lot of AD carries, and unfortunately in gold leagues and stuff like that, it devolves into a lot of team fighting for objectives, right? And so with Caitlyn sitting on like the 1.5 items, like she's not going to be as useful in comparison to some other AD carries, unless if she's like super snowballs her lead, and she has frontline to play around. I mean, I have no problem being frontline for Caitlyn, but yeah, no, that's my opinion on the Caitlyn pick and why we haven't seen it.
All right, well, for the record, I've been the one petitioning Sigma that Nasashi should be moved up in the power rankings. I don't actually hate Nasashi, so just want to put that out there. Maybe save his ego a little bit from what's happening to him here. But
it is worth saying that EpilepticUnicorn very much thought that Nasashi and Neos were interchangeable in their positions, and that Nasashi and Neos should be 7 and 8. And then I made the decision not to put Nasashi in front of Neos. So unlucky, I guess. Maybe if Nasashi just played better, I don't know. Just clearly, this is a joke. I know Nasashi's a good support. He does okay things every once in a while, I guess.
I mean, I think your power rankings overall, you do a good job. It is hard. You're nitpicking at a certain point, and someone's feelings are gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
like me not being number one again. I'm pissed.
Look, it's and also like it's hard after weeks when like you have 3 teams go 2-0. So then you're like, okay, obviously like some players like the top 10 this last week was so difficult for me because like the top 10 was just like everyone had mega performances. And it was like, well, how do I like actually say this person's better than the other when they both just played solid? Like the top 10, you could probably just interchange everyone with each other, and you can make an argument for why it should be in any order. Like it really wouldn't be that hard to argue for someone being number 1 over NBK because, NBK is good, but other people might be more important to the team. Like we don't know the dynamics of teams per se of like who is needed to do more. And like you said, like Laplace, for an example, is a very selfless player, right? Like he might not be popping off with 25 and KDAs or anything, but like he's still doing a lot in fitting a role for your team. And it's why you guys are so successful is that everyone on your team isn't playing with an ego, right? So yeah, it's difficult. I try my best in the PR. I at least try to not offend anyone too harshly other than Nasashi.
Yeah. At least when you're putting in your PR, your reasoning for things aren't, well, they play annoying champions, so they're bad.
I should do that. I should do a PR purely on like how much I like the champion choice of that one. If you pick Kiana, guaranteed number 1. That's just all there is to it. Pick some trend stuff like Yasuo, last place. Good luck. Speaking of, not speaking of at all. That's actually a lie. Void wanted to. This was important to him tonight and in the After Dark that he didn't show up to. That, he had important points for us. He wanted us to talk about Worlds a little bit with you guys. We talked a little. He's curious about your guys' opinions. Where did I lose this? On NA getting smoked. Is what, and I quote, this is Void, not me. So no flame on me. I already get enough, please. Void, and I quote, get their opinions on NA getting smoked and the lack of anything positive from NA.
Okay. I guess I'll start. I think that it's pretty egregious playing into teams that play at a playstyle, and then you're playing the same playstyle into them because indefinitely they're going to be playing better, and you played different all year, right? I think the best example of this is Cloud9, because Cloud9 has perma-played Enchanter support, and they play one game of it, I think, at Worlds, or 1 or 2 games of it at Worlds, right? And the game that they played an Enchanter support with, like Lulu, which got nerfed, but the nerf isn't actually that crazy.
What is it, like a 2-second cooldown on Whimsy or something?
Exactly. Like, everyone's just dropped the fucking champion for some ungodly reason, right? And Lulu's still good. So I just think it's completely egregious to completely change a playstyle to play into LPL playstyles. For example, Fudge picking Fiora and Aatrox and like all these other champs, when unfortunately I think people just need to swallow their egos a little bit. And Blabber is great on carries, jungle, whether it's Olaf, Xin Zhao, like stuff like that, and just get the tank top lane and get Berserker on like hyper carries. And that's exactly what they did. They did Ornn top, Jinx, Lulu, and then they played Orianna and I think it was Trundle jungle. But like, and that's the game they won against Fnatic, which is crazy because it's literally what they've been playing all year. So I don't know. Like, I just think if they're not playing it to their strengths, what are they playing for? I don't know. That's my opinion.
See, I would like to caveat Void's, statement talking about how there's nothing positive and how NA is getting smoked. and that's because he is so high on NA hopium that he actually expected something.
Okay.
All right, no reasonable person went into the Worlds and was like, yeah, NA could do really well here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think Cloud9 was straight up the biggest disappointment because EG was playing with a roster that they weren't playing with all year, right? So that's kind of like not an excuse, but you understand what I mean. And then 100 Thieves have played the same playstyle like for the last 3 years, and I think that unless if Closer gets like giga ahead, it's pretty difficult for 100 Thieves to actually function. So it was Cloud9 who was kind of the hopes, and then they just decided I'm going to play the way that LPL plays and didn't actually transition that into anything.
I think also the grooves, like, it's just one. I don't think we're ever gonna be as good as the Eastern teams, and I don't know what, like, you shouldn't expect us to be. Like, the solo queue environment is worse. The internet, like, connection to the server, you're literally playing a different game from like zero. I used to teach English in Korea, and I was able to play on like their servers, and it's just so much different. And like, even as from a like low elo perspective, and then they just dedicate, like, they're putting 18 hours a day in, and which NA players are not going to do. And so it's kind of like the like basketball going to the Olympics. It's like we have the biggest infrastructure and the most talent, and there's a reason, like, that's why we just dominate, and the other countries don't put as much emphasis in that. And so I just don't think we will ever be on par with them. And it's just, you have to kind of enjoy the ride and like enjoy, if you're like, I'm a Cloud9 fan and I like that they get to Worlds, but you can't expect them to get to win Worlds or anything. And they had that one miracle one, and that was fun to watch, but they're just playing like a totally different game, and it just matters way more to them.
yeah. To be fair, I feel like NA's chances of doing well at Worlds sailed with double Solution Dash into Victor. So it all went downhill from there. So
Yeah,
I got the one blip.
I thought Europe would maybe be good this year, but the one the one positive from NA is they pretty much knocked Europe out.
True. Hey, we'll see if EU is able to manage the 0-9 like the real pros of NA were able to do.
Yeah.
But I guess they would technically be an 0-10 because Rogue is guaranteed a tiebreaker. So we'll see if they can do the 0-10 in week 2.
Thanks.
All right. Let's see here. Man, Void really. That was really all that was important to him, was talking about Worlds, apparently.
Yeah, so
Right.
he just want to know about Worlds. Oh, I guess you want to know about. Dude, I've been zoning in and out doing admin stuff. Okay, I can't multitask to save my life. That's why I don't normally do After Dark. And so, did we talk about the origins of your guys' usernames, your in-game names? I'm curious about them.
Oh.
I'm him, not Void. Totally me. I assume we
Boostus, you
did.
can start.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, we did not.
mine just is so my real name is Justice, and I ran track in
And you're
school.
boosted, right?
Oh, and I'm just trash. But my friends call me Boostus, and I was like, oh, that kind of like plays. And I actually just recently changed it. It used to be Big Bang Hank, off of a band called Blue Scholars. If you've ever heard of them, they have a song called it, and it's very weird reference. But then I was just like, oh, I want to switch it up, and then I just kind of went with the real name, the IRL nickname, because it felt like it was kind of fitting, and it is a play on being boosted, so it just was fun.
I like it. I like that. All right.
I
very
will
crazy
say-
long name. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say my name's also from a song. I love when people call me Black Mass or anything else. Yeah, just call me Witch. I don't really care. Just ignore the rest. But no, it's from a Black Sabbath song. It's from War Pigs. It's like a line in it, and it's my favorite song. So I've always gone by Witch solely because of that, and I'm just used to it. So
Is there a shortened version of your name that you don't like? Like, is there been adaptations that people have said that you're like, man, don't do that?
No. What was Wheelie's thing? What did he say? I forget. Sig, what did he say? It was like, oh shit. You were there.
I don't got memory like that, man. I don't.
It was like Wichita, I think it was. And I'm like, Wichita. Wichita. What the fuck?
All right, so you're now Wichita. Understood.
All
right, Wichita. Cool.
Yeah, I lost my shit. Because that was I get mispronouncing my name and shit because like I suppose I missed a C in black, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, or like Arctic throwing in the curveball C that I don't want to type ever, and it's fine. Yeah, I know it's not. Cool. That's I don't know. Unicorn, do you have anything else? Do you guys have anything that you specifically were like, I want to talk about this? Maybe by chance, like anything league related, team related, any call outs, shout outs?
Trying to think. I really enjoyed playing in the league. I think it's been really fun thus far. I mean, I know this is the first season of it, so it's been really good. In my opinion.
I've had a really good time, and I don't know if this is going well or if it's just a shit show because this is my first one ever. But it seems to be running well. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. And then shout out Galen for believing in us against the Cheesers.
Yes, Galen. But fuck everyone else. I'm gonna call people out. Gail, you're my boy now, all right?
To be fair,
right, well,
if I knew you guys had lap place and that they didn't have NVK when I made like my votes during the early part of the week, I would have voted for yes too. Okay.
Sure. Hindsight's always 2020.
Look. It's not my fault that I didn't know the 5v5. I think in a 5v5 full rosters, it's such a close series. Whenever you two play each other and it's a best of series, I am so excited for that because it's just got to be an insanely close series. Like I feel like you guys match each other really well.
Okay. I'm just saying I've known Handmine for a while and I was confident he wouldn't be picking the Ziggs. Okay, we've talked about this previously, how he doesn't play Ziggs well, so I'm just gonna blame it all on him.
It was the Ziggs pick was kind of like, oh, okay. It wasn't like to me at least. I was like, this is interesting. I don't know.
We did quadruple ban him, I think.
You're right. But so he does kind of have to pull something out of his ass, but still.
He's prepared to play something today, and you guys are like, what if you just don't get to play any champion today? It's smart though. You can have discomfort.
Yeah.
You don't have to waste bans on MBK, so go after the handline. I like it.
Yeah, if Handline hears this, he knows what I'm talking about. How his Ziggs has a tendency to flank, and flanking Ziggs turns out to not be very effective. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I feel like more teams should let my fiddle through, please. That's all I'm asking.
That's your shout. Please let Wichita's fiddle through. Let Wichita play fiddle.
I will say I feel like when I was listening to this last week, one of the guests was talking about how they kind of just come into the games and decide what to ban and what to pick, and we're not putting in a bunch of effort or anything, but we're getting on maybe an hour, half an hour beforehand, and putting a little thought into it. And I think that some of the teams. It would be more fun. I kind of had this prepared when we were 6-0 instead of 5-1, so it would have made it better. But I feel like teams could put a little more effort into the drafting and scouting beforehand, and they would be doing better. There are some teams where I'm surprised that certain champs are getting through. especially when we've seen other teams beat them by banning certain champs.
Yeah. Or even like champs that are like being picked for their team that straight up people don't play. I don't know. Something that we've at least stuck to is we're not playing champs that like we've not played a single game this season, like typically, you know what I mean? I will say Lap, I think, played like 0 games with Swain, and he just operates really well on it. But I think Swain, it is pretty not easy to play to pilot, but I think Swain's like pretty good in comp because people just smash the face in the keyboard and run at you. So yeah,
Swain can definitely very easily punish uncoordinated engages.
exactly.
Something we see a lot.
Yeah,
So.
we do have the pleasure of seeing that a lot on stream, and definitely saw that today in the Leviathan.
Some might say we saw a lot of that in the Waffles game, you know? Against the Bombers.
That was a surprise. I also just feel like, give credit where it's due. Like, we could say that the Waffles played off, but I also think the Bombers played better than we had seen the last week, at least. Like, last week, I didn't think the Bombers played well at all, obviously, with their record being 0-2 after it. But, like, I will say in that first game, the Bombers just in general seemed like they were at least prepared to try to win that game, and that, like, they knew what they wanted to do, and they played a lot better, I felt like. So, credit where it's due,
Yeah, we definitely played egregiously in the sense that like we were trying to push leads where, just for recollection of my play, I called for an invade or not invade. I knew Warwick was going to go to his red buff, and so I called Dasashi to come so we could kill Warwick on it because I was a level up. But their bot lane had already been recalled and was walking to us instead of walking to lane, and so they were able to like answer that, and so like it's definitely more. They played really well and stacking objectives and stuff like that. So I'll definitely give it to them.
Yeah, and I think they drafted and picked well.
Yep.
So I agree with you. Like I think they played well. And they had a game plan that they executed on, and them and I would say the Cheesers are kind of the first ones I've seen. I feel like in the games we've played, and then in some of the other matches, I feel like it's that preparation is a little bit lacking. So kudos to both teams today that we played.
Yep.
I will
definitely. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say we'll end it off with one thing. I wasn't do predictions for every game, but that sounds super tedious and boring. So instead, I'm gonna ask you guys both, Blancis, a question to end this off. Of if you could choose one game next week to make a best of 3 and have it streamed, which series would you say is the most important? Like, which is the one that you'd want to watch for that? You guys even know who's playing next week?
I'm double checking.
Well, is it on the stream right now?
Yes, it is.
It is on the stream.
Okay. I would say us versus Pandas probably, or Cheeses versus Pandas maybe. I feel like the other games, or maybe Leviathans versus Bombers, Clash of the Bottom.
Yeah, that's a 3. That'd be interesting to watch, right?
Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
In the middle of the season, it would be one that I would want to see like teams adapt, like to ones that are actually drafting. So I would say either the Bomb, and I think the Turnips seem to be a fun team. So they might be like they could be fun to watch. Like Turnip, I don't know. They're all good.
You basically
make them all
every game.
make them all a best of 3.
I want to have like a cam of Turnips playing on his thick pad or whatever, playing with his nipple, and it'll be fucking angry, dude. I'm telling you,
that. Oh my!
He will smash everybody with that fucking nipple, man. I'm telling you.
My real answer is if Pandas are coming to play next week, then I would say, and this is obviously biased, but us versus them would be hype.
Okay. I mean, they'll have Ixie back, so hopefully, Ixie took a week off, has some stuff IRL, comes back maybe next week with some energy, and we see something out of him. So that could be it.
I hope so, because I was woefully disappointed the first game. So
clip that and send that to Ixie, and I'm sure he'll show up a little extra.
Yeah, sure. Ixie can show up a little extra. He already kind of goes, all the way.
Anything from you, Unicorn? Any closing questions, thoughts?
I think for me personally, just to go off your question, not related to gameplay at all, but Leviathans versus Bombers, just so we can have the Curiel versus Melee Bane best of 3. That would be my most interesting matchup because personal reasons. But
Okay. All right, this is why we didn't ask you. Okay, whatever. Any shout outs, anything you guys want to add before we end the stream? Wichita and Boostus.
Oh, fuck. Please. Don't do this. People are actually going to call me that.
I know, yeah.
You're cursed forever now.
I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank no shout outs, just the waffles. Yeah. Oh, I'll shout out you guys, like, for putting all this together. Like, honestly, I know we did it earlier, but it's awesome, and I'm really having a lot of fun with it. So thanks for putting in. I know it's probably a lot of work and a lot of time, and you're getting a lot of banter, and you're handling it really well. So thanks for putting in all the time and everything.
Appreciate all the hard work, guys.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, then I guess we'll send us off, and we'll see everyone next week, week 4. Maybe see week 5. There's some changes incoming, so keep an eye on announcements. And other than that, everyone have a good night.